Justice for all. First, we're starting with buildings and grounds. And we'll be going over the updates.
Fortunately, not a whole lot to update on. As some of you have seen, we've got the truck
All over town.
all over town.
Yes, indeed.
Got no problems with it to speak of, so I've taken in one couple of minor things, which is kind of unusual, I think, for a new vehicle. But other than that, really haven't had a chance to use it or the salt that we used it once. And everything seems to be fine, but it looks like that weather's coming to give it a good try. Other than that, the door for the wall at Fox River is now completed and installed. It's a accordion type door. We've closed it, I mean, just to see how it works. I haven't had the need to use it, but I think it'll serve the purpose of why it was installed.
Seems pretty sturdy.
Yeah. I mean, is that something somebody's gonna run into without damaging it? But
Yeah, I'm worried about that top track being wobbly or something.
Yeah, no, that's attached to, they laminated 3 laminate beams together up on top of there, so it's, you know, it's got a good strong structure above it holding it, you know, for it to attach to. So it was meant to, you know, put up just so we could divide that into 2 rooms again if need be.
Cool.
All of the doors and frames and thresholds and everything that were due to be replaced at this building are now complete, including the 2 the window lights above door H. We had a manufacturer's malfunction, and they made all one solid piece of glass instead of 2 small ones. So that was, if you saw the boards in the window, that's why they were boarded up for a period of time. It was a manufacturer's mistake. So they were in, I believe, last week, Monday, and put the 2 windows in that needed to be put in, take the wood out. Other than that, probably right after, sometime after the first of the year, I'll start looking at projects that, as far when the budget comes around again, to see where we're at, if there's some projects we can do, you know, if there's monies left over or something quick, painting, those types of things. I really don't see any need. The other big project I think we're gonna have to get into, if you look next time you're outside, this sidewalk along the parking lot here is really starting to take a beating. The corners are all breaking up, it's becoming a safety issue. I think that's something we'll really have to look at next year after when school is out. We've replaced some sections along the way. There's just more and more of them breaking down already. At the joint between 2 sections, right on the top edge of the curve, because that's such a high square curve there. So that's something we'll have to take a look at for sure, and you know, for next year, for next summer projects.
You think that's from the cars hitting it, or what do you think it's from?
I think it's a not so much cars, but snow plowing.
Snowplow?
And just because of that sharp 90-degree corner on there, I mean, there's a little pothole, and then we get ice and salt down in there. It starts to break away, and I mean, once it starts, you can't stop it. Because everywhere where it's broke out, it's on where there's a joint between sections. It's not in like the middle of a section or anything like that. It's at that point where water and salt can sit and freeze and fracture it, and then it starts to break away and deteriorate, and then before you know it, it's just all water with broken down. So, other than that, I know you had received some information from Chris from TSJ Engineering on the HVAC system here. He had mentioned to you in the email that if you thought it was too much to digest for now to do it in January. I would like to hold it off till January for the simple fact that in talking with Canon and all the updates he's going through with the system here and going to Windows 7 and everything, the control system for the 3 buildings that have Honeywell, that only runs on XP. So
Be a bad thing.
if something would happen with our XP stuff, I have no control, would have no control over at that point. I've been in contact with Honeywell to see what system they have that runs on 7 and what that would cost as far as an upgrade, you know, in the event we would choose to do that. But I don't have all that information together yet from them. So I'm thinking January would be a better time to, you know, that way we can look at both of them at one time.
Right. Just reading a little bit over, it sounds like when they upgraded this system in 2004, they probably shouldn't have gone to what they did.
Correct. So that's kind of where we're at with the HVAC stuff.
And I take it the building materials for the roofing already are bought and in storage now?
They're in storage, inside storage, yep, until spring. So we're good there, and that, they're ready to move on that. You know, we're their first customer when the weather breaks, so where they can start doing that in spring.
Do you have any other repairs on roofs lately, or?
We had a pretty significant one out at Woodfield.
Okay, that's what I saw.
Earlier this fall, to where the rubber membrane actually pulled away from the parapet cap along the east wall of the gym. It shrunk to that point. They said that's not unusual, not a real common, but not unusual to see that happen if they put the rubber down too tight. And that goes back to when the buildings were built. You know, that roofer went out of business midstream. So it was Capital Roofing out of Mapleton or Mapleville, out near Madison somewhere. So, but yeah, Carlson Racine came in and did the repair on that, and it's been fine, so.
The other roof at the trail site, okay?
Haven't had any issues there, no, haven't had any issues with this roof. Fox River's been good, so we haven't had any weather-related leaks or anything with those two roofs either. So we're in good shape there. Hasn't been any.
We looked at possibly expanding the bus lane along the backside of.
Right, I got a cost on that, but it was, we decided to hold off with that until we saw just exactly what, you know, was gonna happen with the buses. But yeah, that's something we gained, the way we laid it out, would have been the whole length of the bus loop across the back of Fox River, from the curve on this end to the curve on that end. And then we looked at also striping that with not parallel parking, but diagonal parking, in the event, you know, we needed extra parking, and that buses would give them the space for the school buses later on. And from the looks of things now, and if they keep that number of buses coming in, yeah, that's something we'll really have to take a look at. So.
I think you had gotten the price on that too.
Yeah, if I remember right, if I recall right, it came in somewhere $17,000, $18,000.
Save around 17.
Yeah, to increase that wide enough to accommodate angle parking, and then also to where the buses could double park rather than stretch out in one long line.
I wonder if we could get the chamber to kick in a little bit, since they'd be using that also for Balloon Fest.
Can ask them, doesn't hurt.
I'd like to keep it on the radar.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I was gonna look once we got the snow to see how the buses were gonna be parking there.
Right.
And you're gonna have to be actually pushing it off into the grass, it looks like, to,
Well, we do that now, it's just we would push it over that much further, and we probably would have to push more to the west than roll it all to the south. Because when we're rolling it to the south, we start to get into the embankment going up to the playing fields. So we still have room to go to the south with it, or plow it back the other way and plow it up behind, you know, along the other way. So
okay, yeah.
we have some options there as far as plowing is concerned.
The other board members, this is behind Fox River, where they have 2 lines of buses that park there now, in the morning and afternoon.
They would like to have.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a single one. There's 14 buses that park end to end now, and they run from the bus loop on the west side all the way around. And the last bus is very close to the other drive coming in. So by adding that lane, we could at least double up the last 4 or possibly 5 buses to where they could park next to each other and still have safe egress for the kids out of the buses if they're gonna have to remain to have that many buses over there. So something we're looking at, or something we have to look at.